is the last time Michigan won back-to-back games inside the shoe. Of course, the Wolverines trying to do that here today. Noelle, I'll give you a hint. It was before you were born. Do you have a guess?
93, 95?
That's actually really close. The answer is actually 1988 and 1990. Both were one-score games, so it's been a while, but more motivation for the Wolverines to pull out an upset here today and get back-to-back wins here inside the shoe.
Absolutely. It's interesting to think about that. And obviously, what we've been talking about consistently in this entire rivalry and game as a whole is the elements of the game. It's the people, it's the atmosphere, and in fact, one Toledo Central Catholic football alum is going to be adding to that atmosphere on the sidelines of today's game. This is a story about how Giovanni DeSantis found his way to Columbus. Just like every Ohio State fan, Giovanni DeSantis is eager to cheer on the Buckeyes this afternoon.
Growing up in Ohio, it was definitely something to be around. The environment, the name itself, like being a Buckeye is a big deal.
But the shoe is not where his journey began. In fact, cheer wasn't even his first choice.
My mom and my dad made a deal that with all the boys and girls in our family, whatever sport they had to do like a cultural activity outside of the sport. So if we played football, we had to dance. If we did baseball, we had to do musicals. I'd have football practice from like 4 to 6, and then I did dance practice from like 7 to 8. It was a lot of fun. It was a busy childhood.
Little did he know that versatility would come in handy when he least expected.
And I wanted to go play college football. That was my goal, that was my dream. And again, I could go to Toledo for free, so my plan was to pursue to be a walk-on. As I started off-season training right after the football season, I started working out, and I think we got like a mass email. I got contacted with the Toledo cheer head coach. He reached out, was like, hey, come to a practice, come try it out, see if you like it. And I went in and I tried it, and the guys and the girls were super awesome, super nice to me, and I got to throw girls in the air.
And the rest was history. With DeSantis' background in ballet, he quickly tumbled onto the University of Toledo cheer team.
It was definitely a adjustment my first year, especially like as a competitor, as an athlete. Like I'm looking at some of those guys and I'm like, I can do that. Like I know I would have a right to be on that field. I'd look there and I'd do it, and I'd turn around and I'd look at all of my new friends and the things I get to do here, you know, especially in hindsight now, all the things I've gained from trying cheer and sticking with cheer that I don't think I would have ever gotten playing football.
In 2022, DeSantis followed the Rockets into the shoe, a glimpse into what his future would look like.
It's a different route, that's for sure, and he definitely found his niche and found something he's very passionate about. He is passionate about football, and football has to end for everybody someday. He found another way to still be a part of it, and he's doing well there, which doesn't shock anyone.
Even though DeSantis no longer competes on the field, he still finds his calling through competition.
I was lucky enough to make nationals my first year, make it on the team. So we traveled to Florida. We go to nationals again my second year, and we compete. And funny enough, again, on that nationals mat where we took 11th, Ohio State, I think, took 2nd or 3rd that year, and we were right next to them. So like, again, those same guys and girls who we cheered the same game, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, man, like that's so cool that like we're on the same stage as these guys, and I'm like, this is what it takes to be great.
And what better way to showcase that than taking center stage in college football's greatest rivalry?
Cheering the game in the shoe or coaching the game in the shoe is so special. With Gio's unique background of, you know, being a football player, you know, big, strong football player, then also being someone that's involved in dance, you know, those things combined, you know, and it makes him the perfect type of person for what we try to do here.
1, 2, 3, boss!
Again, that was Giovanni DeSantis, Toledo Central Catholic alum. When I was interviewing him, I was like, your story is kind of like the game plan for all of you that know that classic movie. Yeah. You know, his whole life was centered around ballet and football, and now he's here kind of getting both. And it's funny to think that his first time cheering in the shoe, he wasn't even doing it for Ohio State, yeah. It was for Toledo.
Yeah, and I remember that highlight because, I mean, I wasn't at the game, but I remember that game, Toledo going into the Ohio State and trying to put on a good performance. Their first touchdown was a dime from DeQuan Finn to Thomas Cyrus, who's another Toledo kid.
Right.
And then he ends up high-fiving him in the end zone for the touchdown. So
more of a chest bump, but yeah.
More of a chest bump, but it was just pretty cool to see him kind of have that moment, and now he's here doing it for the Buckeyes. But from the Buckeyes to a dog, I believe Chase has more on what is going up in Ann Arbor with something going on for the halftime performance. Chase?
Yeah, guys, Michigan, obviously, they are trying to fill the time between snaps, and they have one of the best shows in college football, and the star of the show is a very good boy.
Some dogs are shy around other people, but not Victor. You just watched him catch a Frisbee in a stadium full of more than 100,000 people, and he's been doing it for years.
When I pull out the backpack to go to the game, he is ready to go, and that's the best part of it.
Bruce Lee is Victor's owner. He's a dentist in Traverse City, but he's also a Michigan grad and a huge supporter of the football team. 4 years ago, Bruce and his family were in the front yard playing with a Frisbee when they noticed something.
He was chasing the Frisbee to each person, and he wanted it really, really bad. So we thought, I wonder if we just throw it out in the middle of the yard with no person, is he going to go and catch it? And he caught the very first one, and he's been catching them ever since.
Bruce decided they may have struck gold, or more appropriately, maize and blue.
And I would sort of daydream, like, I wonder if the athletic department would ever want to do something with this.
2 years ago, when the Wolverines were playing UConn, Michigan gave Victor a spot to do their routine.
How nervous were you for that first game to get him out there in front of 100,000 people?
Very, very. Will it go okay? Will he run away? That's what they were worried about. If he's going to be distracted and run off.
Victor didn't seem to have too many in-game jitters. That show, he finished with a stat line of 10 of 11 Frisbees caught. Since that first game, Michigan has had Victor back for 12 more games and has become a star in Ann Arbor. This summer, Victor was out of commission, getting surgery on his ACL.
And he had to miss the first 5 games this year. And then he had full recovery, and everything's 100% fine, so he's good to go.
Over the last few seasons, Victor's become a crowd favorite, another tradition in the Michigan football experience at the Big House, like the student section cheers or singing Mr. Brightside. Bruce says what makes this all worth it is making the fans and fellow alumni happy.
When we walk Victor to and from the game, we get a lot of feedback like, Victor's our favorite part of the game. Oh, I'm glad to see Victor's here. And can we take a picture? And it's the fan feedback that we never saw coming. We had no idea. And that's the best part. They seem to like it.